Ash Williams has survived the attacks of the evil dead, but has been transported back to medieval times. Ash is captured and is once again forced to fight the Deadites. Some believe he is the chosen one, while others think he's full of it. The only way is to find the Book of the Dead. Will Ash succeed and return to this time? Or will he become another skeleton marching in the army of darkness?
Welcome to Movie Friends. My name is Seth.
And I'm Michelle.
And today we're talking about Army of Darkness from 1992. Directed by Sam Raimi. Written by Ivan and Sam Raimi. Cinematography by Bill Pope. Composed by Joseph LaDuca and Danny Elfman. Edited by Sonny Baskin, Bob Murawski, and Sam Raimi. Costume design by Ida Guerin. Starring Bruce Campbell, M. Beth Davids, Marcus Gilbert, and Ian Abercrombie. Michelle, how are you?
What's going on, Seth? How are you?
I'm doing good. I just scarfed some Oreo Thins.
Yes, you did. I watched you do it.
I got my half gallon of Snapple Zero Sugar Peach Tea.
Wow. I love peach. It's such a nice flavor.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started on a peach.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. The way you said that could be good or bad.
I love it.
Oh.
I don't like being juicy, you know?
Uh-huh.
Which I feel like so much fruit requires of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. I had a big apple yesterday. Whole face sticky. Whole face.
Just a big apple. Yeah, man. But yeah.
No, it was a really big apple. Large.
Big fan of cutting stuff up.
Yeah.
Cutting it up into bite-sized pieces or slices.
Seth, that's why we have teeth.
Ugh. You don't cut up any of your fruit?
I am a lazy girl. And also, if I'm by myself, the way I cut vegetables is pretty much I don't. So Aunt likes everything finely chopped. I am lazy and I have teeth. So nope.
Wow.
Down the hatch.
Just biting right into an eggplant.
Oh, eggplant's the worst.
You don't like eggplant?
If it's done really well, but I've had some bad eggplant.
Well, I think we've all had a bad eggplant.
That's true. Yeah.
Hey, we got some emails.
Yes. Also, wait, should we address the fact that last week we're like, next time you hear us, it'll be Space Jam?
Oops. Sorry, guys.
Not yet.
Michelle and I are usually very good about planning. Like, I actually texted Michelle this week and said, hey, guess what? It's September. That means it's time to start planning next year's episodes. And I felt so insane picking themes for like July of next year. But we're normally very good. And then sometimes we just get a little full. And so we were jumping the gun a bit. But that's okay.
That's okay. You're still getting an episode. And it's a patron-picked episode. So
that's right.
You get
Army
it
of
sooner.
Darkness.
That's right. Okay, emails.
Yes. So finishing up Swashbuckling September. And these emails are about some of the movies we've done. This one, the subject line is Robin Hood. It says, hi, friends. I watched The Adventures of Robin Hood for the first time ever, just so I could listen to your podcast on it. What did I think? Honestly, meh. It's not bad, but it's definitely, like you said, a series of vignettes. Errol Flynn was absolutely a terrible person in real life, but you can't deny his charm in this movie. My one big takeaway was how much this specific version of Robin Hood influenced Mel Brooks's Men in Tights. Specific callbacks are made to carrying the deer into the hall and the iconic shadow fight at the end of the movie, just to name a couple. Thank you for sharing the bit about the stuntman actually being shot by arrows, because I definitely spent this movie trying to figure out how they did that in 1938. Maybe I'm just an old curmudgeon who doesn't like fun and should have watched this 20 years ago to really appreciate it. Either way, thanks for giving me a reason to finally check it off my watch list. And that email is from Betsy.
Hey, Betsy.
Wow.
No, I think this is the perfect time for you to watch it.
That's right. You got a reason to.
Yeah.
You can decompress with us.
Yes. Yes.
And I do think there's something to be said for watching old classics and checking them off your list. You know,
Totally.
you've internalized it, even if you don't love it. I feel that way sometimes.
Same. That's what I was doing like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your big movie guy, pre-movie friends life that you pretend didn't happen.
I don't pretend it didn't happen. It just didn't mean that much to always bring it up.
And thank you, Betsy, for bringing up Robin Hood Men in Tights, which is a movie that has almost been done on this show like 3 or 4 times. And if we didn't do it for Swashbuckling September, I don't know when it's going to happen, but
Well, you never say never, as Justin Bieber used to say, or
that's
maybe
right.
still does.
That's right. He probably still does, right?
I mean, why would you stop saying that?
Maybe he says, never say, never say never. Maybe that's a rule around BB. Like, you got to get prepped when you're going to be around him. And his people are like, listen, never say, never say never.
Whatever you do,
Yeah.
don't.
All right. Next email subject line is taking turns. Hey, movie friends. I just finished up the Zorro episode tonight, and my wife was in the car listening with me and said, this is much better than that other show you were listening to. And she's right. So I thought I'd pass that along.
What was the other show, though?
I'm very
Probably
curious.
the Jamie Kennedy Experience
That's right.
podcast. Whatever.
Jamie Kennedy's podcast is called Hate to Break It to Ya.
Oh, we're definitely better than that.
Hate. I'm sorry, but hate to break it to you. It's just such an obnoxious title.
Hate to break it to you, but
Right. But what I'm about to say is the truth. And I'm Jamie Kennedy. Anyway, sorry. But anyway, thank you. Thank you, wife.
Thanks, wife of who?
I haven't gotten to the Hook episode yet.
Oh, whoops.
So there's more.
Oh, sorry. I got the compliment. We can move on.
Dear movie friends, my wife said your show is better than a show. I haven't gotten to the Hook episode yet, so I don't know if you figured out the game idea for whose turn it is to go first. But if you haven't, you could both write down a number between 1 and 100. Then you each guess the number your opponent wrote down. And whoever's guess is closest to your opponent's number can either choose to go first or defer. I got confused as I read that. Not that this suggestion is confusing. That's just how my brain works. I need a visual here.
Did we ask for a game?
Yeah, you don't remember? We were like, we should play a game to figure out who goes first. Because I'm always saying, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Did we? Oh, yes. Did we
Yeah.
talk about writing down a number?
No. We just said we should. I can't remember what my version of the game was, but it was terrible. So we said we asked people to send them in. And
that's probably why I forgot it, because it was terrible.
Yeah, and this person's doing it.
Terrible. You ever say terrible like that? Anyway, sorry.
I say we try it.
Okay.
We both write down a number, and then we guess. I guess what you wrote down. You guess what I wrote down.
And whichever is closest to 1,000?
No, what? Because then you can just write 1,000.
All right. I need a visual too. I can't be told numbers. This is a running theme with me. I can't.
That's what your people would say? All right, listen.
Yes.
Michelle is really cool, okay? If you see her eating a big apple, just don't say anything. And also, don't tell her a number.
I have two examples to support this that happened today.
Okay.
So,
go for it.
Well, okay, so Aunt came home and he's like, I'll prepare dinner, but like between you podcasting and rehearsing, you're going to have to blah, 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 put it in for 350, blah, blah, 30 something for, and I'm just like, it's like a bouncy ball. And I was like, wait, can you just text this to me? And then I went to one of our...
Can you draw me a picture?
And then earlier today, I went to one of our sponsors and met them for our live show that's coming up to pick up iced tea. Shout out to Subtle Tea. And Kyle's great. He's giving me a tour. And at the end of it, he quizzes me. Yes, and he asks me, "What year did we get started?" And I was like, "Oh, no, please.
I mean,
Oh,
that's not a
no."
quiz. That's a question.
Well, that's what they called it, the end of the tour quiz. And I was like, "Oh, I remember when you got that machine. I could tell you what date that was."
Oh,
Anyway.
I thought you meant when we got started. Movie Friends got started.
No, 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 when Kyle
Oh,
and
got it. Okay.
T got
Yeah.
started. Like, you cannot throw numbers at me. If I don't have a notepad,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make it up. Hence
Yeah.
1,000. So we're not writing 1,000.
Okay. The email pretty much is over there.
Okay.
But they sign off. They say Bainarain, and then they sign their name as Game Mail.
What?
You don't remember any of this. Remember we said send us an
Oh my
email
God, yes!
that
That
says
was so
Game Mail.
funny.
Yeah, Game Mail.
I'm so
And
sorry, guys.
we had to
My brain
emphasize.
is truly in live show mode.
Yeah. You know what I kind of feel like? And if you're listening to this for the first time,
I'm
please
so
forgive us.
sorry. I'm so
I feel like this
sorry.
episode is going to be Movie Friends Light a little bit because Michelle and I have one foot out the door. We have half a brain in another episode in another
Yeah.
planet. Luckily though, I will say,
Yeah. Get close,
Army of
everyone.
Darkness. Army of Darkness is kind of a Looney Tunes movie. And so
Oh,
we're already
100%.
we're already in this mindset for Space Jam. So anyway.
Yeah.
That email's from good friend of the show, Nick Scheist.
Nick! Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. It truly means a lot, even though I failed to comprehend it.
I did an X-Men show with Nick,
Yes, you did.
X-Friends,
Yes, you
talking
did.
about the X-Men 97 cartoon. And it was a lot of fun. It's great. If you haven't checked that out, do it. Or else you'll be my ex-friend.
Ooh, shots fired.
Next email, subject line is Hook. I was never a Hook fan. Am I the only one who doesn't think that this is a kids movie? I'm right on the edge, man. I think that this is.
This was written for adults, but I think you can have your kid watch it with you.
Yeah.
And the more I thought about it, yeah.
They say the more I listen to your episode, the less I like the movie.
Oh,
Good
God.
acting, good idea, not executed well, and way too long.
Mm.
P.S. I hate Bob Hoskins in this. Wow.
What?
P.S.S. This is my least favorite Robin Williams performance, which,
Yeah.
P.S.S. tried to be positive and couldn't make it happen. Sorry. And then the emoji with a line for a mouth.
Uh-huh. Neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that email's from Ben.
Thanks, Ben. And
Yes, thank you.
valid thoughts on Hook, because like I felt the same way. The Robin's portrayal of Peter in that movie was definitely like my least favorite performance of his.
It's a controversial episode. I just got to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Last email says, Hi, movie friends.
Hi.
I'm so thrilled that Army of Darkness got voted for Swashbuckling in September. What a great theme, by the way. Army of Darkness is a horror comedy, a time travel movie, an homage to classic Universal monster movies, and yes, a swashbuckler. Ash possesses all of the characteristics of a swashbuckler. He's charismatic, daring, crafty, chivalrous, or at least he thinks so, and he begrudgingly fights for the common man. Ash's trusty boomstick would be weapon enough, but he shows he can sword fight with the best of the swashbucklers by the end of the movie, all while saying, Tally ho! As for Army of Darkness itself, Movie Friends loves practical effects, and Army of Darkness has it in spades. That is very true. Sam Raimi is at the peak of his filmmaking powers in this movie. Thank you so much for voting for Army of Darkness. Evil Dead is my favorite horror franchise, and it made my heart happy to have it picked. Your friend, Sean.
Sean Shank.
Yes.
You know what's so crazy, Seth?
What?
Thank you, Sean Shank. I've been thinking about Sean. And yesterday when I was making breakfast, I was like, I'm going to shout out to Sean on this week's episode. I'm not even kidding.
And you
Scout's
did,
honor.
just
Scout's
now.
honor. Yes. See, hands are up.
It just happened.
I know. I was thinking, and I was like, I'm going to start shouting out our patrons just as a hello. I was like, I've been thinking about you.
Wow.
And so, Sean, I've been thinking about you, and I hope you're well. And thank you so much for sending in an email. And I love that you love this movie.
There you go. There you go. Speaking of loving this movie, should we predict each other's ratings before we
Yes.
continue?
Yes, we should.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what I'm like falling apart in the utensil department.
Utensil? Is a pen a utensil?
It's a writing utensil.
All right. I'm locked in with confidence.
With confidence?
Sure.
Wow.
Why not?
All right.
I've got confidence coming out of the wazoo this week.
Yeah, you know what? Like I said, this is like the last day before
Doesn't
spring
it
break.
feel? That feels
Yeah.
like it feels like that. Yeah.
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 I am also locked in. So before we watch a movie for the first time, we record our pre-watch thoughts. This was a first-time watch for Michelle, and so let's hear what she had to say.
I'm not one that usually gravitates towards zombies or movies about zombies or stories about zombies. I think the only movie I've seen is Zombieland, if that counts. And so I didn't even know Army of Darkness existed, and I've never seen any of the Evil Dead movies. But maybe I'm the perfect audience for this movie, since it's treated as a standalone, and you don't really need to have seen the other Evil Dead movies. So, to be perfectly honest, I'm going in with very low expectations. Like, it's so low and small that you can't even see it. It's almost like my expectation doesn't even exist.
Okay, so now after having seen Army of Darkness,
Yes.
do you still think that you're the perfect audience for this? And were your low expectations helpful to you?
I don't think I am the perfect audience for this, but the low expectations definitely helped. Also, I just want to address, if it sounds like I'm peeing in the thought, I'm not. That's just my cat's water bowl. Did you hear it? Was it aggressive?
No.
Okay,
no,
okay. The water fountain in the
It just sounded a little fuzzy, but I assume you record those on like your phone. So
I
was
do.
Like,
I do.
Yeah.
Okay. Whew. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now that everyone's fears are...
Well, it's like she can't even like take time.
Yeah.
To record
that's
it.
a
Just
little
do it on
known
the
fact
toilet?
about Michelle is she's peeing all the time.
Always.
I had no idea what to think when this got voted in.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of great options. Some movies. I think we don't normally talk about the movies that didn't get voted, but some of my like favorite movies.
Like what were you? Not that we're sad that this got voted, but what were you?
Well, I'll just shout out one in particular.
Okay.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Mm.
Love that movie.
Mm-hmm. You still love it.
I do still love it, and maybe we'll do it one day. But when this got voted in, I was like, how is Michelle going to receive this movie?
Mm.
And then I rewatched it, and I was like, oh my God, this is Beetlejuice.
No, it's not.
Meaning that it's not like a horror movie. Like how Beetlejuice is not a horror movie. There are some horrifying images in it.
Yeah.
But overall, it's very silly and funny. And then I also was like, this is also quite Looney Tunes. And again, we've been thinking about the Looney Tunes a lot in preparation for our Space Jam episode.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this feels like kind of a good segue out of swashbuckling stuff into horror October, into Space Jam.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All valid thoughts. Yes. I see the thought transition.
How was it watching this movie? And did Anthony watch it with you?
No, Anthony did not. Like I said, I had very, very, very low expectations. I was a puddle of myself because I was so hungry. And so I was just like, I have no energy to even muster up thoughts.
Yeah.
And so this was so easy to watch. It was so easy to watch. What the best part about this movie is you don't have to think about anything.
I agree.
So
100%.
bravo, Army of
Yeah.
Darkness.
Movie, yeah. Episode's over, I think, really.
Yeah, I mean, it came at the right time.
I wrote down in my notes, and I don't mean this in any kind of a bad way. During the big battle at the end,
Mm-hmm.
I wrote down in my notes, I think that this movie is like anti-intellect. Like there's just no subtext. There's almost nothing to really comment on beyond the surface level of what's happening. It just is what it is. And again, I don't mean that in any type of negative way. This is a movie that I really enjoy. I've seen this movie a ton of times.
On your own accord?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This was a big Seth teenage basement, throw the VHS in, and the VHS is
Wow.
Army of Darkness. Yep.
You and your siblings, or just you?
Yeah, yeah. Me and a few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. And were you a fan of the other Evil Dead movies?
Yeah, they're so different though. Like
Right. That's
it's
what I'm gathering anyway.
it's such an odd trilogy because the first one, there are lines that are funny in
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is like kind of a redo, but adding in a lot of obviously on purpose comical moments. And then this one is just not a horror movie at all, I don't think.
Wait, are these supposed to be funny movies? Is
Well,
the
this one
intention?
is, yeah.
No, mine is not this one, but the first two. Are they supposed to
The
lean
second
more
one,
comedic?
the second one for sure is supposed to be funny. The first one is a horror movie. Like I said, there's some funny like lines, but I don't think that those were like necessarily on purpose.
And is Ash in it?
Oh yeah, Ash is in all three.
He's in all three as the same Ash?
The same Ash, Ashley Williams. Yeah,
Wow. I mean, I
isn't
won't.
there? Is there a famous Ashley Williams? Am I thinking
There.
of? I think I'm thinking of Ashley Simpson.
And then there's Allison Williams, who
Okay,
was
that's what I'm.
in Get Out.
I'm putting the two together. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know that
Um,
Ashley Simpson song that's like? Oh,
oh my God, yes. Of course. Pieces of Me on
Yeah.
Autobiography.
Oh, okay.
It's the best album. One of my
Really?
favorites. Yes.
Really? The whole album?
Whole album. I can listen
Wow.
to it from start to finish. It's great.
I'll check it out. Yeah, because
It's
I like
great.
that song.
Yeah. I've been on a Shins kick. That's what I've been
Mhm.
listening to
Oh, the
as of late.
Shins.
Yeah. Shoots Too Narrow. I'm like, this album is great.
I haven't. I don't think I've ever really devoted time to the Shins.
That's a shame, Seth. It's
Okay.
a real shame. But anyway, so Ash is in the other two as Ash, like doing the Ash things
Yes, doing the Ash things, getting his hand cut off, putting a chainsaw on it. Yeah,
in the other
absolutely.
two.
Yes, absolutely.
That's very odd to me.
Why? The movie starts with a recap of the second movie.
That was a recap of the second movie?
Yeah. Yeah. He goes with his girlfriend
To the cabin.
To the cabin. They fight the Deadites and the Necronomicon. They read from it and it unleashes, the evil spirits. And then at the end of that movie, he gets sucked into the past.
So the end of the second one.
Yeah.
He gets sucked in.
To the past. Yeah.
Okay. You know what would have been helpful?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to say, right?
No.
Some lower third text. For those who have not seen one
like
or
in a
two,
documentary.
like back when.
Okay. Yeah. Well, he tells you. He's telling you.
You know, another thing I've realized is I start paying attention when it's too late. And I miss a lot of things. And so to me, the beginning is just like, what? It doesn't match the rest of the movie.
Correct.
And because, like, why do we get sucked back to medieval times?
I wish that I could answer that question. The only thing that I will say is, though, the original ending of this movie, not to jump straight ahead to the end, but the original ending of this movie is he takes the potion, but he screws up again. Like he's supposed to drink like 6 drops, and he screws up the count. And so he accidentally takes too much and he wakes up in like a post-apocalyptic world. So he doesn't return home. He goes to the future. And so with that original ending, to me, the whole idea makes more sense because it's just like each movie will end and Ash will be in like a completely different place and he'll have to fight the Deadites. Yeah. Like
Okay.
the fifth one could be like Ash in space or
Sure.
like it doesn't matter.
Sure, it doesn't matter. He's
Yeah.
just traveling.
Ash on Noah's Ark
Why not?
and all of the animals are possessed by
And
evil
he
spirits.
rides a giraffe or
Sure.
something. You know?
That sounds great.
Sounds great. All of this sounds like a dream. So
Yeah.
anything is possible.
Absolutely. So yes, Ash is the main character of the Evil Dead series. They made a TV show a few years back, Ash versus the Evil Dead.
Wow.
Yep.
Was it the same? It's Bruce Campbell?
Yeah, Bruce Campbell.
Was he in it?
Yeah, back as Ash.
Does this guy have one note and it's Ash?
No, Bruce Campbell's in other things.
Okay. I'm just asking. This is truly, I am very new to this world. So
Absolutely. Yeah, it is weird jumping in on like the third entry of a series.
well, I was worried about that because my whole Lord of the Rings, I've only seen the second one.
Which
Is nuts. And I couldn't tell you anything that happened, but I don't like watching things that I don't know the premise, the story, the world.
right.
It's kind of cruel.
Right. The only thing that I will say is in this one, truly nothing matters that came in 1 and 2.
Right.
You might feel a little off your footing to be like, why does this guy have a chainsaw on his arm?
Oh, I accepted that.
Yeah.
I was like, sure.
Really? That right away?
Because it's so ridiculous. He gets sucked in to medieval time, 1300 AD. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Also into another country because it's not like America in 1300.
Correct.
He goes to England.
You can't, I think, to make it work, you just can't really question it. You just accept it, right? I'm like, whatever I'm being shown here.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to quickly talk about just like the idea of genre. And you and I have done this a lot when our monthly theme is more like a genre. It's like, what is a mystery? Where does a mystery start and a police procedural end? And and so for this one, Sean in his email said, it's a horror movie. It's a comedy. It's a time travel movie. Definitely a time travel movie. Definitely a comedy. But then we put in this like adventure, swashbuckling knights, and I wonder if sometimes things are like misgenred and then it turns people away. Because like if you were presented this movie and the first thing is like horror movie, are you watching Army of Darkness?
Well, no, and also I'm not drawn to zombies. So disregard horror. I'm not going towards a zombie story because I'm just not interested in it.
Right. The Deadites they're different from zombies.
Right.
In the other movies, like it's basically possession, really, because the people who fall under the evil spirits, right, that are released by reading from the Necronomicon. Necro. Nami.
Nami?
Well, Nama. God.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, Necronomicon. Yeah. Remember Numa Numa Kid?
This is
Nama Kid?
This is just like I cannot say chupacabra fast.
Right. Yeah. Necronomicon, Chupacabra.
Okay.
So in the Evil Dead movies, which there's these three, there's Evil Dead directed by Fede Alvarez, there's Evil Dead Rise, which came out recently. Normally what happens is a character will find this book, and it's the Book of the Dead, and it's bound in human flesh. And if you read from the pages, it lets out these like evil spirits that then like find the person who read from the book and possesses them. And there's like gnarly, gory, messed up stuff that happens. Like the whole environment kind of becomes evil.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a really gnarly scene with a tree in them that I'll just say that. And so Ash's hand gets possessed, and so he has to cut it off, and that's why he cuts his hand off, and then he attaches the chainsaw to it. But yeah. So in this movie, it's a little different. You know, the woman in Arthur's little room there that turns into she gets possessed. Sheila gets possessed, but then you just have all these like skeletons,
which I love. This should just be labeled a skeleton movie. Give me all the skeletons. I love skeletons.
Yeah, everybody loves skeletons. No, maybe not.
Yeah, probably not. But like, where's that genre?
Skeleton
I guess it's
movies.
Dead.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh, I thought you were joking. I thought that was a joke.
No.
The skeleton genre is dead? That's a funny joke.
Oh, that is funny.
Yeah.
Haven't arrived there yet. Thank you so much for filling me in, Seth. Oh, that is funny, isn't it? Nice. No, but I enjoy the skeletons.
Yeah.
Give me more movies with,
yeah,
funny skeletons and fighting and stuff.
Right. But yeah, so normally the monsters are just the people who've been possessed. It's not like all these like zombies or skeletons start coming out of the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's it's different. But watching this, at any point, like, were you scared or startled or anything?
No. Not
even unsettled?
Nothing.
Got it.
All I was like, wow, that's great makeup. I'll tell you this. I was like, this is the dumbest, most stupid movie I have watched, I think, in a very long time, maybe ever. And I compared it to Clifford. The difference, Clifford drove me nuts. I feel like I got no enjoyment from Clifford. Yeah. This, I legitimately laughed and really loved the special effects makeup.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this movie is the dumbest movie ever. And that's not a bad thing. And I don't want people to take that as a bad thing, because it's like, enjoy some junk food. This is junk food for you. So no. And I kept writing. I'm like, oh, well, this is definitely not a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually, I think, and again, like, I'm not trying to say anything concrete or definite, but what makes a horror movie? Is it that there are scary looking things in it?
Right.
Like, what qualifies this as a horror movie? Because to me, there is no scares. The scariest thing to me may be Ash's little eyeball shoulder.
I agree to that.
That's like the most kind of unsettling part.
Yeah. Or having like miniature versions of you taunt you.
Wow. That's my children.
Right. Well,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But make them little and make them like, that's funny.
Yeah.
That could have been horrific. Yeah.
So yeah, I just want all the listeners out there to really ponder in your heart what makes a movie fit into a genre, because there's a lot of unsettling things in movies that are nowhere near horror. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Is Army of Darkness a comedy, a horror, an adventure movie? Is it all three? Does it succeed in all three of those areas? Is it only slightly successful in each one of those, and so the three coming together makes it a whole thing? Not sure, but I don't know. Something to think about.
Would you put this as a dark comedy?
Maybe, because we're doing dismemberment and,
Right.
Yeah, it's certainly not like a fun bring the kids to watch the movie, but it's so close to being a kids movie. It's insane to me that this movie is rated R.
That doesn't surprise me.
What, like, some skeletons get blown up?
I mean, do you think it would be rated R today? This is 92.
This is Home Alone violence. You know what I mean? Like, stepping on a nail.
Home Alone is honestly way more scary than this.
Right. So, like, you put...
Yeah. It is. Are you kidding? The stuff that Harry and Marv go through? Leaving your kid home and you forget your kid? More horrific than this, because this isn't real. This is not real.
Well, the point that I brought up in our episode about Home Alone was when Harry and Marv have him hanging on the door.
Yeah, right.
And Harry talks about biting his fingers off one at a time. And it's like, Joe Pesci, you it seems like a little too real. You're delivering that line. Are you tired of working with Macaulay Culkin?
Baby carrots.
They just had the cameras rolling. They didn't.
They're just like,
All right. So Bruce Campbell
yeah,
as Ashley Ash Williams. How did you feel about him?
he's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous. I'm just the lines of this dude of just like, give me some sugar, baby.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, spinach chin. Like, you're pissing me off, you ugly SOB. You know,
Mm-hmm.
just the way he delivered stuff. It was, and then just like, yeah, baby.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what to call it. Like, I don't know what
this is,
this is.
it's stupid, is what it is. It's
Yeah.
stupid.
Because it's like you put a character
comedy.
into King Arthur times.
You put him into these times, and obviously there's some tension. He wants to get back. But then he trains the army, and all of a sudden, we're just so good with a sword. We are so good on a horse. I'm like, you know what? Sure. Sure, Ash.
I was like, they're already an army.
Well, we needed that like choreographed, flash
But they
mob
only do that
scene,
once. They only do that once.
which is what you do with a flash mob. You do it once. This was a flash mob.
Yeah, that part is funny to me because obviously he teaches them about like, steam powered engines and puts the big propeller on his car. And so there are advantages to like having Ash on your side, but it's just funny that he's like training an army that's already an army. They're already soldiers. Like,
Right.
wouldn't they be teaching him how to shoot bows and arrows? Like,
now, Ash in current day, real time, whatever you want to call it, he just works at the S-Mart.
He works at S-Mart.
That's what he does. And is it established that he's just a dreamer? But no, he's actually getting
this movie.
He's getting okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, you're just imagining you're really good with a sword and on a horse.
And that's, Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi's brother. He's the guy at the end who's like, oh, did you say the words right this time? It gives the idea that like Ash just tells these stories to his coworkers and they're like, all right, that guy's a little weird, right?
Right. Imagination.
Yeah, big imagination on this guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's ridiculous, but I love him. Pretty much everything I've seen Bruce Campbell in, I think he's got good presence.
Mm-hmm.
To me, he's really leading this movie. Like your eyes are drawn to him. You got these characters spouting out medieval talk, and then he's just like, "Sure, baby."
Right. Yeah, I mean, every time he spoke, I laughed. So there's that.
I don't know if you have a favorite line of his. Mine, two different ones. One would probably be, "Give me some sugar, baby," which was just so stupid. I mean, it's just like so ridiculous. And then the second one is later on with Sheila when she's like, "You found me beautiful once." He says, "Honey, you got real ugly."
Yeah, I love
dumb. It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. He says, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well, hello, Mr. Fancy Pants.
And I love whoa, spinach chin.
Yeah.
That got me.
You gotta say that to Anthony next time.
I will, because I mean, he always has like goop in the beard. Spinach and smoothie and
sure. I had a deep gum cleaning this morning.
You're talking about your teeth, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking you have gum in your beard or something.
No, I don't have to regularly go to have the gum.
We were talking about beards, gum. Okay, so you had a deep gum.
I needed an emergency deep gum cleaning. Stat. Get him in here.
How'd it go?
This is the worst gum removal I've ever seen. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
The dental technician dropped some goop on my face and I could feel it. But I'm a good patient, I'm not moving. I'm sitting there. just waiting for her to wipe it off. And I'm like, you got to wipe this dental goo off of me. Like, you gotta. And so
Right.
she wipes it, but she clearly does not have a beard because it was like on my cheek.
Uh-huh.
And she just like took a dry paper towel and went and just swiped it downwards across my whole face. And
Uh-huh.
then, she didn't do any lift off.
Oh, is that the technique when one has a beard?
Well, when you wipe something, you got to do a lift off. If you just cover it and smear it, you're not removing it. So she just smeared it across my beard. And I was like, well, that's in there now.
So when you got in your car and looked in the mirror, you were like, oh, there it is. There's my schmutz.
Well, yeah, I when she let me rinse, I quickly washed it off because it was like numbing stuff. It's like
You
topical
bathed.
numbing stuff.
Oh.
So like, please get this off of my face. Anyway.
Wow.
Anyway, love Bruce Campbell. Ash is so stupid. It's like, obviously the script was like written, but it's almost as if the words that are coming out of his mouth are just like, what's the dumbest thing that you could respond with in this moment? And like, Bruce Campbell's just like, what's the dumbest thing I could say? I'm going to say that.
Yep, with full confidence.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Full confidence.
Full confidence, no self-doubt.
Embeth Davids as Sheila.
Miss Honey.
Miss Honey. That's literally my only note
Miss
under her.
Honey.
Yes. I did not recognize her.
I didn't either. And then once I saw the name and Matilda, I was like, oh, Miss Honey, I love you.
But very different from Miss Honey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was good.
Two roles to show her range.
Matilda in this. Or this Matilda, I should say.
She's good. I feel like it's pretty one note, until she turns bad. Which is, interesting. But I think I prefer her as Miss Honey.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I've seen that movie many a time versus this. So perhaps I'm biased.
So also, like Sean mentioned in his email, we love practical effects.
Yeah.
So how were you feeling about the bones and the skeletons?
I love it.
The bone flute?
I love the bone flute. Like I said, I love all the skeletons. Give me all the skeleton movies. I love, there's a part where, I did write that down. The skeleton grabbing the face, hand grabbing face. Like I loved it all. So I was there. And that's what I was really honed in on because there's no story. So it's just like, you might as well just watch what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
The makeup and the skeletons.
There is a story, and I know that you're not saying that there's truly no story, but it's just like, because Ash just deflates every dramatic moment or any exposition.
Yes. Right.
Does Ash have a monologue in this movie beyond "This is my boomstick"? You know what I mean? But even that, what starts out as him like threatening the people ends up as a commercial for S-Mart. So like, it doesn't even go the whole way.
Well, here's that
he just derails everything.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Like, we're been transported back in time. You don't own S-Mart. You're a really loyal employee.
He just wants to get home so that he can go back to work.
It's so sad. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna, in the beginning, getting close. So you hear, in the beginning, his girlfriend is taken.
Yeah.
But it's not Sheila, right? Because she's the sister.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what? His girlfriend his girlfriend doesn't get transported back with him.
Right, but she's taken.
By the Deadites?
Doesn't someone take her?
No.
Huh. Okay. Why did I write that down? Why was I so confused? I was so concerned for his girlfriend. They go to the cabin.
Yeah.
And she gets taken.
She dies there. Spoilers for Evil Dead 2.
Oh, she dies. He probably said that and I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah. Maybe. Okay. I don't know.
All right.
Ash just deflates like everything. Like he's the stereotypical like dumb American, full of confidence, full of swagger. Hey baby, give me some sugar. You know what I mean? Like that moment, the way that it's framed and shot and the way that she's like talking, that's, riffing off of an adventure movie or a romance. Like, we've seen that 100 times, and then he just derails it.
Yeah.
Yeah, story is Ash gets sucked back in time. He needs the Necronomicon. They say, go get it for us. He screws up the spell, and so he awakens the army of the dead. He feels bad about leaving them behind to face it alone. So he's like, all right, I'll fight these guys again. They win, and then he goes back. But he doesn't go back through a portal. He has to take a potion to like fall asleep.
I wanted this to end after everybody hugs
Okay.
and all is well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just end it.
And then you don't like the supermarket stuff at all?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Interesting.
Ruined. Why did I was like, oh, this actually made it worse.
Well, that was added on because
Right.
this, again, the original ending, he takes the potion, wakes up, the world is destroyed.
Give me that. That makes sense.
Universal didn't want it. They said it's too depressing.
How do we even take this movie seriously to think that that would be too depressing?
They said too depressing. You need to reshoot it. And so they reshot it with that.
What a choice.
Yep.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah, that is crazy.
I don't love this ending. I would have preferred that one. I would have preferred him being in the future. Because then you can set up another movie and you can do funny whatever. Who cares? Whatever. But I do love Hail to the King Baby.
Ash from Housewares. I wrote LOL in all caps, WTF. That's my last remark.
Why do all the Deadites in this movie do gymnastics?
I mean, why not?
I think it's insane. It's
Wouldn't
ridiculous.
you? If you're dead-ish and you're just like, you could do whatever, jump around. Like going back to what you said in the beginning, it's like a Looney Tune.
Right. Yeah, it's so odd because like the other movies, like I said, they're nothing really quite like this. So it's so weird to be like, oh, by the way, the monsters in this one, they're all gonna like flip 100,000 times.
Yeah,
while they're attacking.
Why not?
Okay.
It adds an element to it. It makes it less scary, quote unquote.
On his quest,
horror movie. Yeah,
he comes to a place and he finds 3 books. He chooses Ron both times. Finally gets the right book, but then he has to say the words, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my question to you is, do you remember the words?
Klaatu, Barada, Nikto. Tried.
Did you read that off your phone?
Of course I did.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you would have.
I knew you were going to quiz me, so.
You would have summoned the Army of Darkness.
I love when he approaches the books and he's like, nobody said there would be 3 books.
Yeah. He goes to a cabin. No, he goes to a windmill. He sees himself in the mirror, breaks the mirror, and mini ashes come out. At this point in the movie, what are you thinking?
I wrote, oh my God, little dudes.
Okay.
So I had to pause and I really kind of went close and I was like, oh, they're little ashes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like them.
You had fun with this whole thing.
I had fun, yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
At this point, my salad arrived.
Got it.
So I got a little, nourishment.
You were less of a puddle of yourself.
And I was like, oh my God, little dudes. This is fun. And then they they get in him and he drinks boiling hot water. Is that what that was? Or juice or what is that?
How about some hot chocolate?
That's what he says. But when it came out, it was not hot chocolate. That was clear liquid.
Right. Yeah.
It's a dream. This is all a dream.
London Bridge is falling down, stabbing him with a fork.
Uh-huh.
You're into all this.
I'm into all of this.
Wow. This is my least favorite part of the movie.
Let me be clear. Mm-hmm. I guess I should say I'm fine with this. This is not like, woohoo.
Because this is the part of the movie where I'm like, literally, what are we doing? What is this?
That's the whole movie for me.
Yeah.
At this point, I've accepted it. I'm eating my salad.
Mhm.
Sure, we got little dudes. Now
Yeah.
one is like inside, and then we have the eye on the shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yep.
Sure. What else you got?
Well, we got another Ash.
Well, right. And so, but me to the screen, listeners, I'm like waving my arms, like, welcome, like, bring it on. Show me. I'm here for this.
Yeah. Michelle is like, how much dumber can this movie get?
Correct. Yeah.
So bad Ash looks a lot like good Ash.
Well,
Just the hair's a
obviously.
little different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the biggest fan of bad Ash.
No, I didn't really write too much. I
Yeah.
actually wrote down the whole good, bad Ash sequence. I said, edit this down.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I would do this, but this is I think it's like the silliest part of the movie.
Yeah. Well,
And so I'm like, yeah, I'm
it's
just
not
like,
necessary. It doesn't really add to.
this was longer, actually. This sequence was originally longer.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah. They
just
they they
they were
edited
they
it
did
down.
they took our notes and edited down, and
Yes.
this is the result.
But then Bad Ash gets shot in the face and buried. I do like the line. Ash says, "Hey, what's that on your face?" and then throws dirt on it. Bad Ash is like resurrected into now like skeleton army leader guy.
Mhm.
Did you get that when
Nope.
you watched it?
Did you believe that I did though? Me nodding here and be like, "Yep, mm-hmm,
That's him.
totally."
That's him.
Wow. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
did not put that together.
Yep.
I also think that at this point, I'm just accepting what's sure. And
Yeah.
I'm really just watching and I'm not really paying attention to like logistics in the story. I'm
Sure,
more
sure.
focused now on the skeletons and the makeup
Yeah.
and every close up I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. Like this is really cool." So
Yeah.
I was very into that.
I like the battle scene. I like all the skeletons.
Yeah.
Some people were in suits. Some of the
Mhm.
skeletons were puppets.
Mhm. That's so cool. So cool.
The people who made all of the suits and everything, they talked about how they designed the skeleton puppets to be, they're called like rod puppets, I think. And they specifically designed them so that Raimi could like improvise with them once they were on set and filming. So they weren't like locked into certain positions or like, oh, this one is only a certain percentage, below the waist, it doesn't exist anymore. Or they they knew that he would want to like play in this. And Raimi is really interesting. Have you seen the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies?
Those are my favorite.
Okay, cool.
I saw them like, oh my god, I was so in love with Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I saw the
Oh,
first one in theaters like 5 times.
wow. Okay.
Obsessed.
Okay.
Obsessed. Yeah.
Have you seen other Raimi stuff?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, like obviously Evil Dead movies. He did Darkman with Liam Neeson.
Mm-mm.
Drag Me to Hell. That was a big one. His filmmaking style is so like little kid with a camera. We're,
Mm.
we're like following objects. Every object that flies in this movie, if it's an arrow or anything, someone kicking, the camera is like zooming along with them. And like, it's so crazy to me that this movie got made. They make Evil Dead, the first one, for like, I can't remember exactly how much, like 30 grand or something, like super crazy low amount of money. Made in the woods. It makes money. Not like $50 million, but it makes a lot of money. Then he makes this movie called Crime Wave, which made, I think, $5,000 at the box office or something like that. Right? Total devastating failure. Then he comes back and makes Evil Dead 2. Bigger budget, makes money. But Evil Dead 2 immediately leads into Evil Dead 3. And so, like, how are you, as a director, getting the permission to be like, I've only made one successful movie and then one incredibly not successful movie, but here's a sequel that also leads into a third movie? That's crazy to me. Crazy to me.
Yeah. And also, hey, the third one, you don't really need to see the first two.
Right.
It's a
And the third one is
standalone.
going to be completely different. And him and Ivan, his brother, who they wrote this movie, they always knew, they're like, we want it to be completely different. We want it to be just, the only constant really is Ash and the Necronomicon. Because, like I said, the Deadites in this, the most similar Deadite really is the woman who was like brewing the pot in the king's room,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So it's, yeah, this movie is a miracle that it was made. It's a miracle that it exists. It was made and then it was shelved because Universal went in on this with the producer Dino De Laurentiis, and he owned like the sequel rights to any movie made about Hannibal Lecter.
Wow.
And so like there was like a lot of negotiating back and forth about whatever, and yeah, weird behind the scene business stuff that has like nothing to do with this movie, you know.
Interesting, though.
And then yeah, like Universal comes in and they're like, your ending is too depressing. You need to reshoot it to make it happier.
This is like
So
a special little nugget.
it's a peculiar, but also like thinking of the Evil Dead trilogy, like there's really nothing quite like it. Just in terms of like the changing tone, because like who makes, you know, a splatterfest horror movie, and then they're like, by the way, the sequel is gonna basically be a remake, but it's like slapstick.
If you're having a movie night
Yeah.
and you're playing this, what are you pairing this movie with?
Army of Darkness,
Mm-hmm.
a Muppet movie,
Right.
You know what I mean? Like this isn't a horror movie
Like
at
I'm
all to
watching this
me.
with Miami Connection.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to name this Medieval Dead.
Can I just tell you?
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I knew nothing about this movie. And so when we're transported to medieval times, I was like, that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I truly thought this was going to be like your run of the mill zombie
Right.
in a like
Nope.
post apocalyptic, maybe. Yeah. No. Okay. That's very funny.
I love the poster for this movie.
Yes. You sent it to me.
I love the poster for this movie. This might be one of my favorite movie posters of all time. Ash it's like drawn, you know, it's like a painted poster.
Mm-hmm.
Ash is standing on his overturned car. The little ashes are like poking him. The Deadites are all around. The castle's in the back. Sheila is like down at his side. He looks like he's painted as if he's got like a 6-pack and a barrel chest.
It's all I'm looking at.
It's so silly. It's so over the top silly.
Is that supposed to be Sheila?
Well, Sheila's the only lady in the past who talks,
Yeah.
so I'm going to assume so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, this is pretty great. I love the little dudes in the fork.
There is another lady who talks. Do you want to share with the class your spirit animal from
yeah, my
this
spirit
movie?
animal. In the beginning, there's a woman and she yells, "Get in the pit with the other whores." And she takes a bite of a huge loaf of bread.
Yeah.
This is right in the beginning. And I was like, well, she's fantastic. I love her. She doesn't miss a beat. Where'd she get this loaf of bread from? She's just carrying it around as she watches this altercation happen.
Wouldn't it be great if we could pick a movie and just for like a Halloween costume party? So it's like everyone has to be characters from Army of Darkness.
Oh,
And
you
it's
mean
like,
we're doing it with this?
I'm bald blacksmith guy with a crazy lawn mustache.
I'll go as bread lady.
Yeah.
Like,
just
who are
walk
you?
up to people.
Yeah, like, right.
Remember me? No? Okay.
Remember my sourdough?
So yeah, they wanted to call it Medieval Dead, which I really wonder if just that idea, those two words together, like maybe they came up with the title as they're writing Evil Dead 2, and they're like, and we'll call the third one Medieval Dead. And then they looked at each other and they're like, oh my God, that's it. And so they base an entire movie off of a joke.
I would love that. In the beginning,
yeah,
someone calls someone a rapscallion, and I just really love that word. I call the cats outside rapscallions.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great word.
Ash sword fights 2 people at once, which I was a big fan of in
the whole sword fighting on the
Mask of
stairs.
Sorrow. Yeah.
I thought was really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
thought
like it doesn't look like crazy polished.
nothing looks
And
crazy
so that
polished in
well,
this.
yeah.
Come on now.
But that made it look cooler to me because I was like, I
Yeah,
kind of believe that Ash is
right.
sword fighting. Yeah.
Totally, totally.
Tally ho, fun word. No
Mhm.
idea what it means.
I think it's just
I know
like you
I know the
exclaim it,
pirates say like land ho, so it means like there, like land over there. So what's tally ho?
like you're tallying up a game,
Okay.
like game point.
Okay, that sound. You know what? I'm just gonna, for the rest of my life, believe that that's what it means because that makes sense.
Yeah. Our listeners, let us know. Tally ho. Oh, I do want to give a shout out to Sword Boy and Torch
Sword.
and Torch Boy. Sword Boy! Torch
Oh,
Boy!
yeah.
Pretty great.
There's a moment in this movie that I was like, if Michelle, because whenever we watch a movie that you haven't seen before, during my rewatch, I just imagine like a little Michelle,
I love that for you.
like
Yeah.
next to me,
Yeah.
and I'm like looking over her at her, and I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I almost sent you actually a selfie of my face watching because this was
Mhm.
me for most of it.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. 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 Yes.
So there's a moment in this movie that I was like, Michelle is either going to like stand up and cheer or she's going to hurl her remote through the screen. That is when Bad Ash, who is now like a skeleton, right? He gets the Necronomicon. He's sitting on a catapult full of explosives. Ash is I don't know I can't remember exactly what he says, but he lights it on fire and then like releases him or whatever. And Bad Ash's skeleton face comes apart, like his head blows off, and a steam whistle sound goes off.
I loved it. I was so giddy during that.
It's the dumbest thing that
Uh,
anyone has ever put on a film, I think.
There's a scene where I don't remember who it was, but one of the skeletons' jaw keeps like
Yeah.
unhinging and they
Yeah.
keep adjusting it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
There's like cartoon noises happening in this movie.
Yeah, because you can't take this movie
We're
seriously.
poking eyes. We're doing Three Stooges.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
oh my goodness gracious. Okay, quick question for you.
Yeah.
If an army of the dead is marching towards your castle
Yeah.
to grab one book, are you gonna put that book behind like 3 bars? Don't obscure it from vision at all. And just like not even on the inside of the castle. It's just like up on a wall. Does that seem like the most secure plan for you?
I don't think so. No.
There's a light on this book.
It's shining. It's such a
There's
special
light.
book. We know what you want. It's right here.
It's like in a video game where it's like this is you reach this point and then the level ends and you
Yeah.
move on. Like that
Right.
is how they have decided to like defend this book.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like come and get it.
It's right here. I guess it's like teasing them too.
I guess so. It just seems great. Like hey, how about this? Yeah, they think the book is at the castle. Here, Torch Boy, find the fastest steed and leave with the book.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the Inspector Gadget helicopter car mowing down skeletons?
It's okay. You
Yeah.
know, I'm just like, of course we are. That's, sure. And then I started thinking, like, how does this technology work? It hasn't been invented yet, that whole thing. But,
Mhm.
we don't need to go there.
Yeah, and I guess that's why, like at the beginning, he changes the chainsaw into just like a metal hand because he doesn't have like gas
Well, right.
for the chainsaw.
Right.
But it's a bummer because like the chainsaw hand, I'm a big fan of the chainsaw hand. Like I think that that's like one of the coolest things in like a campy horror movie like this.
I mean, I
Like,
like when it's thrown and he just puts his hand up and you just hear click. And I was like, oh, okay.
ding.
This is what we're doing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Got it.
Listen up, you primitive screwheads. Whatever he calls them. I wrote down in my notes, this movie wastes no time.
Mm-mm.
It doesn't care.
Mm-mm.
We got, what are we at? Like 77 minutes, 81 minutes, something like that?
81 minutes, yeah.
You look at your clock and you're like, this movie's over.
Right. Right.
Like, are there 3 acts to this movie or is there one? Like, wait, what happened? Like, wait, we went through stages of film? What happened? Like, it's over. So this movie was made for $11 million, close to 12, whatever. Makes 21.5 at the box office. They were shooting for a PG-13 rating. They got R, and so that definitely hurt their chances.
Yeah.
And again, it is insane to me that this is R. He says the F word once.
Yeah. I mean,
We got
there's
one
movies.
F word.
Yeah. Yeah, this should be PG-13.
We got a fountain of blood.
It looks like juice. It's not even
right. But then what else is there? Like, literally, like, I guess Evil Ash gets shot in the face, and like that's pretty gruesome. But I don't know, man. This being R is stupid to me.
Mm-hmm.
Got 60 on Rotten Tomatoes, 3.7 on Letterboxd, Metacritic 59. Believe it or not, this movie is not in the National Film Registry. Wow. Not yet.
Not yet. There's still
Eventually,
time.
they're going to run out of options.
That's right. They'll have Army of Darkness.
In the year 2235. They shot this from May 20th to August 16th. And Ebert gave this 2 out of 4 stars. But his rating and his review just don't line up. It's so weird. Like, he's like really enjoyed this movie.
I get that.
And gave it 2 out of 4.
Yeah. Totally get that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like reading his stuff, sometimes he'll give certain things credit. But if he really liked it and enjoyed the time, usually his rating will be closer to like what he writes. And in this one, it's just like, when I saw 2.4, I was like, oh, buckle up. This review is going to be vicious. And then he was like, it's so much fun. It's 3 movies in one. It's exactly what Roger Ebert sounded like, by the way, folks.
Yes.
All right, let's go to a segment of the show called Happies and Crappies.
It's time for Happies and Crappies. Happies and Crappies. It's time for Happies and Crappies.
All right, Michelle.
Yeah.
What are your happy and crappy?
My happy is just all of the skeletons and specifically them playing instruments.
Mm-hmm. I
Loved it. Loved all of that. My crappy is just what we talked about, the good and bad Ash stuff. I would edit down. It just went on like a little, even though this movie is not long, it lost me a little bit. The sequence just went a little too long. And the ending.
Got it. Okay, my happy is going to be Ash's dialogue.
That's a good one.
It shouldn't work. It's so dumb. But Bruce Campbell sells it, and it's so funny. I would never think a line like, give me some sugar, baby, is funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what does that even mean?
Well, what about, well, we know what it means.
Yeah. And then later on, when Sheila's talking to him or whatever, and he's like, that's just called pillow talk, baby.
Or hail to the king, baby.
Yeah, we're
saying that line when we're not in, the past.
Yeah, not in the past. No, it's very stupid. But yeah, I think that's the part that makes me happy. And then the crappy is like, I don't know, every other part of this movie.
Come on, the skeletons are great.
No, I don't mean that. It's just confounding. This movie it's confounding. Yeah. It's funny. This movie will call into question whether or not you are capable of having fun. You know what I mean? So for me, I don't really know what I want out of movies beyond like being devastated and challenged. When I watch something like this, I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
So maybe just some more plot or...
No, more plot would ruin this.
I don't even...
Don't touch it. Yeah. Don't touch it.
So yeah, I guess it's like that's my crappy with an asterisk. It's just like, I don't know what to pick. Because I kind of feel like I could pick almost anything beyond like practical effects. Those are awesome.
Yeah.
We asked some friends on Twitter what they thought. Beetle Kale at Movie Kale said, a fun fantasy horror film that should have stuck to its original title, The Medieval Dead.
Mm.
But honestly, that's my only complaint about the movie. Really good stuff. Check out the alternate ending on YouTube if you haven't already. Jacob I. Vasquez at Lots of Scotch.
What? Lots of Scotch tape! How
Yes.
are you?
Long time no hear.
I get really excited for our people.
Well, you're going to love this one.
Okay.
Honestly, this is chicken feet soup for the soul.
Wow, that's great.
Wow. What a phrase.
Wow.
This movie name drops my hometown. I love every single over-the-top shenanigan in this movie. Hell, even the different endings. Felicia at Cinnamoroni.
Our cinnamon noodle.
I will go on record to say that Army of Darkness is better than both Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2. So, you heard it, folks.
Felicia said it. It's true.
She's on the record.
That's right.
I don't know that I would go that far, but I'm also not sure.
I'll go that far. I'll go around making that statement.
Sure, yeah. I will say that this is my most watched Evil Dead movie. Definitely. So there's some people that we do know. Now we go to a segment of the show where we hear from people that we don't know. It's called Half Star, 3-Star, 5-Star. These are reviews from letterboxd.com. It's an app where you can rate, review, and log movies. We start with a half-star review, which is the lowest rating that you can give a movie. We go all the way up to a 5-star review, which is the highest rating that you can give a movie. Do you have a request for the half-star review? Because I have no idea what to do.
I would like you to read it while embodying Ash.
Oof.
Maybe we can throw in a baby.
Yeah. Baby, I cannot believe. Not quite Ash.
But
Yeah.
like the essence of Ash.
Yeah, the essence of Ash is just
fearless,
swag.
overconfident.
Yeah.
Baby, I'm the hottest thing ever.
I cannot believe how different this movie is. It's just so far removed from the original two, it's shocking, baby. Completely abandons all horror. It's just a macho man action movie, and it's really hard to watch. Not
okay.
my best voice.
That was okay.
But, yeah.
Not that fun to watch.
I don't think it's a macho man action movie. Our main character gets poked in the eyeballs. Like, that's not a macho man. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe like he possesses an essence of macho man.
But I think it's making fun of that.
Well, oh, for sure. This
Yeah.
this half star is missing the point.
Yeah. I don't take Ash seriously as a hero.
No.
He's an idiot.
He's a
He's a
dum-dum.
fool.
He's a dum-dum.
3-star rating says, a PG and R-rated movie morphed into one. This was wild and made no sense, but I loved it for that reason. Plus, every line spoken by Ash is insanely quotable.
Yeah, I agree. Well
I think
said.
I agree with all of those things.
Right? Well said.
5-star review says, from a purely technical level, this is seriously a landmark achievement on practically every front. Sometimes I feel like I'm no longer moved by sheer spectacle, but this movie has so many moving pieces at almost every single moment that I find it impossible not to get swept up in the rich scope of it all.
Wow.
Masterpiece. I don't know why I'm surprised by that. It's a 5-star review. I mean, what else
True,
would they
right.
say?
We're acting like, wow.
Wow, they like this?
Unbelievable.
Okay. We rate a movie as a schmovie, a movie, or a film. 1 through 5 stars. Give our final thoughts. Michelle, do you want to go first?
Go ahead, Seth. How did I rate this?
Now I feel silly, but I put down that you rated this as a 3-star schmovie.
Okay. Close.
Okay.
I rated this a 2.5 schmovie.
Okay.
This is the dumbest movie I have seen, and no, I am not recommending it. Plain and simple. However, I am very glad that I watched it. And it came at the most perfect time for this week when I really just needed to watch something silly. So
yes.
I say that with all love of, I think this is like the perfect, those who question what a schmovie is, this is it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
This is the perfect definition of a schmovie.
You know, the more schmovies that we rate, the picture becomes more clear. You know,
Absolutely.
Miami Connection, Clifford, Army of Darkness,
Yeah.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yes. That's right.
All right. What did you predict
Okay,
for
for
me?
you, which now I feel silly.
Yeah.
I wrote.
You were confident in the beginning, by
I
the way. I
was
just want to
really,
say that.
wasn't I? I was, and again, I'm writing them in corners of things.
Yeah.
3 schmovie.
Okay, close. I have a lot of love for this movie and Bruce Campbell
Yeah.
and The Evil Dead, and I just can't explain it. I'm gonna rate this as a 4-star schmovie.
Okay. All right.
Yes. I think that it's a miracle it was made.
Uh-huh.
It is so stupid. It is a miracle that any studio was like, yes, go ahead. Make an R-rated Looney Tune movie connected to 2 other movies. Don't include the title of those 2 movies in this movie, by the way. I always thought that this movie was Evil Dead, Army of Darkness. You know, Evil Dead :
Because it's the
Army of Darkness.
franchise.
It's not. This movie is just called Army of Darkness.
Wow.
What are you thinking? Like, literally, what are you thinking? You're dropping people into this story in the 3rd installment and just expecting people to know? Like, oh yeah, S-Mart. Like,
Wait, Ash doesn't work there in the first 2?
oh, this guy's got a hand cut off and a chainsaw is there.
Like, what it? I need to. And I'm not going to waste your time. I'm actually going to look this up myself. What Ash did in 1 and 2.
Well, he went to a cabin. Like, this one brings in
I
so
have
much,
to
like,
let go
so
of
many
that
silly.
part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about recommending this one. What I will say is, if you've seen 1 and 2, then you have to see this. That's an absolute must.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
But I will say, if you haven't seen the first 2, don't watch this.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
There's other schmovies you can watch that we can give you recommendations for.
Yeah. 4-star movie for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
4-star.
And like you said, I was so grateful to do this week, because talk about a movie you don't got to think about. Even like in doing all the research that I was reading and I'm putting together facts about the production, all that stuff, I was just laughing. I was like, I'm not going to mention any of this stuff, I don't think.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, if you haven't mentioned any of our stuff yet, guess what? You have to. Legally, you're required. Get on whatever podcast app that you are listening to this on right now. Leave us a review. Leave us a comment. Respond to the episode question. Rate us 5 stars. Hey, that'd be pretty cool, right? Also, we would love it if you'd send us an email. moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. I'm so curious about people's definitions of horror, where this movie falls for people. Were you screaming at us while you were listening to this because we just thought that it was a silly movie? Like, please let us know. I would love to get some feedback on Army of Darkness.
I'm giving you a call to action, listeners. I want you to drop a skeleton and your favorite instrument in a comment or a tweet or an email.
Whoa, what would your bone army be playing?
Oh, probably like violin.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what I played when I was a kid.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I knew that. Never mind.
I appreciate you being enthused.
Hey, if you're enthused, you can also support the show. Patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. You get access to all of our additional episodes, our Patreon Discord, and you get to vote on movies like Army of Darkness. I can tell you with 100% accuracy, this show would have never done Army of Darkness if it wasn't for the people who voted for it. I never would have picked this for you to watch. What are you, crazy?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I had fun talking about it, and I had fun rewatching it. So
yeah.
If you have a crazy off the wall movie recommendation that you're like, I wish that they would do this, well, that's how you get it done, folks. Patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Next week, our episode will in fact be on Space Jam, and that's it.
It'll be live recording. So if you tune in, or if you're whatever, I was going to say if you're new, but it doesn't matter. You probably didn't make it this far, and doesn't matter. Yeah. that'll yeah, next time I see Seth, it'll be in person.
Yep, very exciting.
Very exciting.
All right, well, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, patrons.
Yes, thank you, patrons. This was a lot of fun. Till next time, thank you very much for listening. Have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Music by Anthony Vicora. If you like the show, please subscribe and give us a rating. It really helps us find new friends. Thanks!